Hello people, how you doing? I ain't made a movie in a minute, so I figured I'd make a movie. Don't know what I'm going to talk about. I'm just going to start talking. The reason it's so dark is because we're living in dark times. How's that Second Amendment treating you? Pretty good? Or not where the fuck? Do you need it? You shouldn't. You got human rights. Rights that are far exceeding the limits of any government. Them are your God-given rights. And as long as you only apply your God-given rights in a positive, beneficial way, then there's no reason you can't do your will, whatever that might be. Your will is whatever you might choose to do is your will. So long as you do not trespass upon the rights of another person, you're free to do your will. So let me ask you, why is it, you get in a little trouble and you get in a slapping contest, you get a domestic violence, or you get an assault charge, all of a sudden you can't have a firearm according to them. Just another means of disarming the populace. Because I guarantee every one of them who are saying that you can't own or possess a firearm for certain activities have far exceeded the extent of corruption that you more likely did to end up in the situation to where you can't own firearms. You know, how far are we going to go until we take this country back? It's ours. This government exists because we allow it. It was created to protect us and to make sure that the commerce flowed so that we could grow and prosper as a society. Yet the corporations have taken over the government and have used our government to enslave us. And you have to really, you don't have to dig deep to get into the enslavement of humanity, but you have to do a little research to find it, and you'll see where I'm coming from if you just start doing a little bit of digging, and you'll learn that the dollar is a petrodollar based on a debt system. It's created, the dollars are created into existence by borrowing money, by people borrowing money that doesn't exist, and then they print the amount of money that they borrow, but they never print the interest, so you can never pay back the loan because the interest for the loan was never printed. And it's deep, folks. It gets right into the birth certificate. I'm trying to convince my son that on his birth certificate he needs to let the mother sign my grandson's birth certificate first, and then when he signs it, to print on it in her signature and his signature without prejudice the UCC 1-308, that you are refusing to sign this document, or actually you are signing this document, but you are not abiding by it without total disclosure of the document, because that birth certificate is actually a bond that is purchased by a finance company. Usually it's one of the early corporations that settled in America, Indies. I'm trying to think, I can't think of it right off the top of my head, but there's videos that I've got it named the West Indies or something. It's one of the original 13 colonies. Can't think of it right now. The Virginia Company, maybe. Anyway, that's not what's important here. What's important, people, is that you all start applying the principles of humanity in your everyday existence. And if you're not doing anything wrong, and these policy enforcement officers are attempting to extort money out of you. You know, it's a shame that we have let society, I would say it's devolved into the corruption and the hate in society that we have. But when that police officer turns his red and blues on and you're traveling down the road to get bread, milk, and eggs, or whatever you might do, and you ain't hurting nobody, you're minding your own business, when he flags you over to stop, you don't know if you're initiating your death warrant or whatever, and they're protecting the government, see, and so the government in essence protects the police. You don't see the police officers being charged with manslaughter, murder, nothing, because they are the protectors of the government, see, and the government has to protect their protectors. I've mentioned this before, and that's why you don't see police officers being, no matter how obvious the murder is on their behalf, that it's just totally apparent that the police officers acted maliciously and have murdered people and have walked, just like these officers here in Pasco, Washington. Them all three were exonerated and back on duty, but the one that went and got another job as a carpenter or whatever, he changed fields, but that's not here nor there. People, is the truth of the matter is each and every one of you have to stand up for yourself individually, and if you can do that individually, then it unites us as humanity against the tyranny and oppression that the corporate government has became by us living this American dream and sleeping through the reality of what has really been going on behind the curtain, see? You only see a facade of what's really going on, and it's all these sovereign countries that the United States has invaded and overthrown the governments on. Them countries weren't in too bad a shape before the U.S. didn't step in and put in these central banks. And you need to look into the central banking system and what's going on, and it's crazy, people. I don't want to get into all that. I just want you guys to be aware that what's going on in America with this rash of gun shootings here, these campus shootings and stuff that we had this last week, that the Fox News channels, as I call the Fox, is a false bullshit liar. The CNN it's all propaganda to instill fear into the masses who still believe the propaganda and the bullshit. Although their ratings are falling, I can't show you the charts. I could, but I don't do that shit. Play it on the computer a lot, minus what I do with my own mouth and my own investigations. I'd rather look into my books if I want to know history, or just run through the different YouTube channels. I watch a lot of them, and I respect a lot of you guys who are actually talking about the seeds and stuff, because it really implants into me that there's still hope, because there's people out there who are attempting to plant the seeds of liberty and continue for liberty to grow. We have lost our liberty and become dependent upon this government, people, and it's going to get ugly, because this government, the few working class people who are left providing taxes, can't sustain the entire masses who have elected to become fully dependent upon the government. And what's going to happen when they realize that the EBTs can't be turned on for the month, and shit's going to start getting real ugly and real deep? And I don't know when it's going to happen, and you don't know when it's going to happen. I do know that Tom Ambrose, their channel's been down for a month or so, and I don't know what's going on with that, but that's got some really good information on it. That's the What's Going On channel, and Tom Ambrose, and he's got some really good information, and he's like my channel. I don't have a lot of views on mine, and he don't get a lot of views either, but what he talks about is just total truth, in reality. And for some reason, YouTube and Google are just totally oppressing the information that the people with solutions who have seen through the bullshit and learned that there is a resolution if you apply the principles that the founding fathers established through the lower court system once you learn how they work. And that's through the jury system being able to nullify unwarranted legislated bullshit lies of crime. And that's why America today has more prisoners for victimless crimes than the next two countries combined. You got China and Russia are the next two largest countries with the prison populations, and the prisoners in America for victimless crimes surpasses China and Russia's prison population. And if that don't tell you something, people, then there's nothing that you can be told. I mean, you might as well just sign on to their list and go to these re-education camps and learn how to live the way they want you to live. You can take this Agenda 21 that's now merged into Agenda 30 or whatever they moved it into, to where they're totally enslaving humanity. They're creating environments where people that's where you're going to live, people. You're not going to have the option to be living out in the forest and foraging for your food. You're going to be forced to live in their establishments, pay them. They're probably going to be charging you for air and CO2 tax too, by the way. You know, that's about the only thing they're not charging us for right now. Y'all think you're free. You're not free at all. You're a total slave to the dollar, because they have enslaved us to the dollar by creating the dollar as the only means of exchange that we can conduct our business. See, we have to fall away from their system and create our own system. Like I've seen, I think it's Ithaca, New York, I believe. They have a system of money now where they warehouse their items and their commodities that they want to exchange, their products that they build or whatever, and they warehouse this and they get community cash. And they're saying fuck the IRS, fuck the federal government. And the entire country can do something like that, people. Change your W-4s to exempt status. Quit paying your taxes. Quit letting these people just take your money. It's implied consent. You're giving them consent by not saying anything. Tell them fuck you. We're sick of it, people. You know you are. You're paying 80% of your wages just by the time you get your traffic fines for speeding or whatever they want to charge you, jaywalking or smoking a marijuana cigarette or whatever they want to charge you. 5 miles over the speed limit. Come on, you're going to pay a $20 ticket for going 5 over? You didn't hurt nobody. Get real, people. But yeah, you just go in and hand them your money. I don't see the logic in it. Why not stand up for yourself, and at the same time you're standing up for yourself, yeah, it may take a few minutes of your day to go in here and face these faggots head face to face and tell them where the bear shits and where the buck stops, because you don't need it anymore. You don't need their system of law that's corrupt. It's a just us system. It's not them at all. You know, I keep rambling on, and what I'm saying, I think it makes sense, and is what's sad about me. Am I wasting my time here, or is someone actually going to hear this and start passing this message on? My granddaughter keeps calling right now, and I'm busy, so anyway, you people, you just have to pass the word on. Continue to plant the seeds of liberty. But after you plant them seeds of liberty, you still have to provide the nourishment for the liberty to thrive. Now, I'm not saying that you need to go out and shed the blood of the tyrants who have imposed the liberty on the people, and impose the tyranny and liberty on the people, but is what I do know is that if we don't stand up for our rights now, tomorrow's going to be too late. They've already reduced us to that fraction of humanity to where you're afraid to do anything that you willfully want to do because they will impose their tyranny and oppression upon you if you do not ask them for permission and pay tribute to them. Now, why would you do that? What do they do for you people for real? They use your tax dollars and blow up and kill innocent women and children. They create ISIS, they create all these alphabetical entities, and the only thing they do is oppress the free will of the free people. And I can't say it any clearer than that. And until you all get off your ass and start standing up for yourself, then humanity's just going to continue to deteriorate into a state of depression to where death is more welcome than the next day. And I don't want to see that for my children. And I don't want to see that for my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, people. It's time to stand up and take our country back. It's not even about taking our country back. It's taking our corporate government back. Putting it in check. And make our moves. That thing is in check. It needs to be checked. The game is up. You all know it. They got all these polls and it all says 80% of the people polled love Hillary Clinton. Bullshit. You all know you hate the fucking bitch. You follow her trail of dead folks. I can count a trail that there's like 59 dead people following the Clinton clan. From their drug smuggling ring in Arkansas to their ties with the freaking Walmart. Jesus, people, it's deep and they have no intention on letting you climb up out of the hole of depression you're in. They want to subside you. That's why they're attempting to take your only means of protection. But you don't need that Second Amendment. You have the God-given right to do whatever you want so long as you keep your evil to yourself and do not impose upon public decency or civil law. This corporate law is bullshit. Any of you people who enjoy the oppression imposed upon you by this creation, by the founding fathers, they knew it was going to get out of control, people. That's why they set up our protection. That's why that court is there for our buffer zone to be able to repeal oppressive government. But we're not doing anything about it. We're just letting them squander our rights clear away. And it's time to put it to a stop. And if we all just unite in the everyday life, anytime any one of you, it don't matter what it is. Don't matter what it is. You get you have an encounter with a policy enforcement officer, do not deal with them. They will kill you, folks. Take it to the court. And when you get to court, plead not guilty. No victim, no crime. Not guilty. It's that simple. When you're on the jury, it don't matter what that judge says. If that guy even admits he was smoking pot or selling pot or whatever, folks. If he didn't hurt nobody, use your common sense and use your moral conscience. That's what justice is. And that's what courts are, is a prevention of revenge. But this corporate government has turned it into a generator of revenue. And we've allowed it to happen by not applying the principles of the courtroom rhetoric, how it was set up to be used, and using it as our protection against the tyranny and oppression created by government, because all government is just like religion. Religion and government go hand in hand. If you want to see death and destruction, follow government and religion. Guaranteed. You look through time. I got plenty of history books. Ask me any one of these freaking... I'm telling you. You don't hear about one man going out and killing a bunch of people. I mean, you get your kings and stuff and it's the same, but you got your one man oppression, but you're talking a whole different system of society, people. We're all awake enough to know that we all have individual rights that surpass all limitations of government, and nobody can tell you what to do, and you sure enough fuck can't tell me what to do. Even at my so-called boss at work, you cannot tell me what to do. You can tell me what you would like me to do. And if it sounds feasible to me, I might do it. You can tell me what you'd like done. And don't try to tell me how to do it, because the way I would do it could be totally different than the way you would do it. Maybe your way's better, maybe my way's better. I don't know. But I'm going to find out by doing it my way. And if it don't work well enough for my way, then I'm sure going to listen to you. And you know what? Even before I start doing it my way, I'm going to listen to what you have to say on your way and process. And I'm going to reason through and apply the best principles of both procedures to come out with what I think would be the very ultimate, perfect way to do what needs to be done. See? And that's how I attack everything, and I don't know how to get through to you people out here in YouTube land. I think that I'm oppressed. See, it's another source of oppression. They are oppressing my literature and my knowledge, and it's a simple process, people. Once you all just do a little research on jury nullification, is what happens, and it's by applying the jury lawlessness when you're in that courtroom and you're serving on that jury duty, and if there's no victim, no crime, not guilty, then you apply your jury lawlessness and you set your fellow human being who is being an attempted extortion from this corporate government, you set him free, not guilty. No victim, no crime, not guilty. Drill that in your heads, people. And share this information with everybody you know. Share this video, you know. Even if you don't share the video, I don't give a fuck if I have no subscribers. I don't care. I don't care if I have 0 thumbs up. I just want this information out. I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of short spells of time in the courts, and I learned that we allow ourselves, by becoming United States citizens, to become subjects of this corporate government. And so I'm applying a new principle to my own self, and I suggest you all start perhaps practicing to be a non-belligerent citizen of the country of America, rather, civilian, non-belligerent civilian of the country of America, rather than being a citizen of the United States of America. Fuck that. You want your name stamped in all them bombs that are being dropped on them innocent women and children? I don't. I don't approve of it. I don't think it should be going on, folks. And I think due to our own ignorance and stupidity and failure to apply our own morality to govern the government, then we are as guilty as they are for dropping the fucking bombs. And I don't know about you, but I don't like my name on bombs that are killing innocent women and children. And I don't know how to stop it myself, but I am one man and I will do what I can do. And that's just to talk. I'll run my mouth. You will only silence me by death. And if it keeps going, death is more welcome than living. This total fucking hell and nightmare that's about to be unleashed upon the population of this world through this new world order. And there's nothing. Once this ball starts rolling, it's going to get real ugly, people. The only way to prevent the seriousness of the ordeal is to stop the ball before it rolls. Because once the momentum starts and the ball starts rolling, shit's gonna get real deep real fast. Them motherfuckers have the power to turn your power off right now. And without power, do you think you would be able to survive? Not for one fucking month. Winter's coming on, people. Think about that one. Winter's coming on. In the summertime, Jade Helm 15, winter's coming on now. Jade Helm 15, they cut the power down. I don't know anything about that shit. I just do a little research and study the economics and the plan and the situation of the troops and what's going on, and even the seismic activity of our great beloved Mother Earth and everything going on, people. It's crazy times that we're living in. And the only way that you are going to have a chance to live in the future is to have your children, or by doing a great thing, say, I've done great things in my mind, such as building skyscrapers and bridges and submarines and vessels and windmills from the ground up and parking structures. I've got a big resume. Gold mines, guns, missiles, helicopters. I've got a big resume, folks, but the reality of it is each and every one of us are special. You are, I am, we all have our specialties. Some of us are great at one thing, some of us are good at many, some of us are only good at one. It's just how it is. Some of us aren't worth a fuck. That's me most of the time. No, I'm over 50 years old and I've seen the destruction of freedom and liberty in this country. When I was a kid, you could be a kid. You can't be a kid no more. You can't even be an adult no more. It's ridiculous. And there's no one to pray to because there ain't no one coming to your rescue. You can believe the myth of God all you want. You think he's going to come down out of the clouds on a bucking, rearing up white stallion with lightning bolts shooting him down at the fucking corporations. You got another thing coming. As Judas Priest would put it back in the early days. But, yeah, all I can say is, and I'm with you people on this flat earth, see, it's kind of late in this video to bring up the flat earth, but my perspective on the flat earth is that you should really use your own judgment and reason and knowledge and apply your own truths, what you know to be true. And what you look out there, go look at some of them panoramic views of the Grand Canyon that you see out there where that camera is actually focused out there 50, 60, 80 miles, 100 miles, and it's flatter than a fucking pancake, folks. Look out on the ocean, it's flatter than a pancake, and don't tell me, well, you can't see the curve of the earth because it's too fucking much. No, it's not. It's what you've been indoctrinated into thinking, and so that's the way you think. It's just like many of you religious people who believe the God myth. You've been indoctrinated to believe that there is a God who really cares for you, and that if you do everything that you're supposed to do, then he's going to save you from death and destruction and hell. And that's why it's such a powerful thing, that religion, because you can be scared to fuck to do whatever they want you to do, and you will do it regardless. It's It's getting fat into a 30-minute video, folks, and that's where I'm going to stop it. So I'm going to do another 10 seconds here, and we're going to say goodnight for the evening. It's been a long time, and it's been a long while, so you guys all have a good one. Good night.